the plagues of Egypt are to return. This is what a Torah scholar warns. He claims the 10 plagues will descend again this year. Sebastian Ketley of Express UK reports the devastating plagues that we read about in the Old Testament at the time of the Exodus, Moses and the tribes of Israel. The 10 plagues took place, and he says they will return to haunt the nation once again. Torah scholars have shockingly claimed that the 10 plagues could return incredibly soon. Now, why so? Old Testament experts based in Israel are expecting the 10 plagues of Egypt to wreak havoc, destroying Egypt this year. The 10 plagues of ancient Egypt are said to reappear just before the Messianic age and the second coming of Jesus Christ. A number of bizarre occurrences around the globe and in the Middle East, especially, such as rivers turning to blood red, and hail in the deserts, have scholars concerned the plagues are returning. As precursors to the second coming, the plagues will rain blood, sulfurous fire, and death once again over the nation of Egypt. But Egypt in our time means those who are far from the true path of Christ. It's not a location, but it's a spiritual place. Now, the plagues described in the book of Exodus saw water turn into blood, the Nile overflow with frogs, livestock perishing in great numbers, and the firstborn of the sons of Egypt die. Evangelical pastor Paul Begley explains this. He studied the dire message coming out of Israel and said prophecy strongly suggests the 10 plagues will return this year. Well, that remains to be seen. He said, the Torah scholars in Jerusalem are now not only saying someday, they are saying this year. They are saying this year. Some of them are even saying the battle of Gog and Magog could happen this year. The war of Gog and Magog, biblical prophecy of the cataclysmic war between Israel and the nation's enemies. The war is said to unfold just before the end times descend, much like the 10 plagues of Egypt will precede the apocalypse. And according to Pastor Begley, the plagues were forewarned by a passage in the Old Testament book of Ezekiel. Passage of Ezekiel 38:22 reads, I will punish him with pestilence and with bloodshed, and I will pour torrential rain, hailstones, and sulfurous fire upon him and his hordes, and the many peoples with him. End quote. Reports of the 10 plagues returning to haunt Egypt first broke by the biblical prophecy website Breaking Israel News, and it said, in 2019 we can expect to see a continuation of the Egyptian plagues, including blood in water, frogs, lice, wild animals, deceased livestock, boils, thunderstorms of hail and fire, locusts, darkness, and death of the firstborn. The website also pointed to a number of events around the globe, and they are reminding of the 10 plagues described in the Bible. Earlier last year, Molchanka River in Russia, Siberia turned blood red for more than a week. That was chemical pollution, as we remember. And before that, heavy hail struck Argentina, October 2017, on a scale rarely seen before in that region. Pastor Begley also said something biblical is happening here, folks, with the signs of the second coming of Christ. Are you serious? This is his mantra is, are you serious? And where's my coffee? Let's get some coffee, type of thing. Or what? Now, this is not the first time unexplained events around the globe sparked concern for the second coming of Christ. Last year, fears of the apocalypse were filled by the supposed fulfillment of 3 apocalyptic signs predicted in the Bible. Pastor Begley himself warned Christians to prepare for an incoming catastrophe of biblical proportions tied to the January 21st blood moon eclipse. Well, you can't tell if prophecy will be fulfilled until it is fulfilled. And let's remember also, sometimes prophecy can change it can be mitigated. If something bad is to happen, prayer or conversion will help forego that, as we saw in, for example, in the Old Testament, when God told the prophet Jonah, the prophet Jonah warned the people of Nineveh, the city of Nineveh. They all fasted and prayed for forgiveness, and their city was saved. So I leave links below for you for this. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.